September might feel like the end of the gardening season, but in reality, it's the perfect time to sow certain perennial seeds. The soil is still warm, the days are cooler, and the natural cycle of autumn and winter provides just the right conditions for seeds to rest, stratify, and prepare for strong germination in spring. By planting now, you're giving these perennials a head start so that next year they'll come back healthier, tougher, and ready to bloom. In today's video, we're looking at 7 perennials you can simply sow this September, then let nature do the work. Each one is easy to start from seed and will reward you with color and resilience year after year. Let's dive in. We're kicking off our list with the tough and beautiful coneflower. Recognizable by its wide daisy-like petals surrounding a bold cone-shaped center, coneflower adds instant character to borders and meadows. Colors range from the classic lavender purple to vibrant pinks, crisp whites, and even golden yellows, typically reaching heights of 60 to 120 centimeters. This perennial is especially well suited for sowing in September because its seeds benefit from the natural cold period throughout autumn and winter. That chill stratification process gives them the boost they need for healthy germination when spring arrives. To grow coneflower from seed, choose a sunny spot with well-drained soil. Simply scatter the seeds on the surface or cover them lightly with a thin layer of soil. Keep the area moist at first. Once established, coneflower is drought-tolerant and requires very little care. It's a true plant-and-forget perennial. Best of all, echinacea is a pollinator magnet. Bees and butterflies flock to its blooms, and in fall, the seed heads attracts goldfinches and other birds. Whether in a natural meadow-style planting, a perennial border, or even cut for arrangements indoors, coneflower planted now will reward you with beauty and resilience for years to come. Next up is the striking lupine, a perennial that brings dramatic spires of color to any garden. Known for its tall, upright flower spikes in shades of blue, purple, pink, and white, lupine is a showstopper in late spring to early summer borders. Its unique palmate leaves add texture even when the plant isn't in bloom. The best time to sow lupine seeds is in September because they respond well to the natural cold stratification that fall and winter provide, ensuring stronger germination when spring arrives. For best results, sow seeds directly outdoors in full sun to partial shade, in well-drained soil that isn't too rich. Lightly cover the seeds with soil and keep the area moist until seedlings establish. Once growing, they require very little care and often self-seed, giving you a naturalized look over time. Lupines are ideal for cottage gardens, meadow-style plantings, or as vertical accents in perennial borders. Their bold spikes not only add structure and drama, but they also attract bees and butterflies, making them both beautiful and ecologically valuable. For number 3, let's look at the cheerful and timeless Shasta daisy, a perennial that brings brightness to borders year after year. With its crisp white petals and sunny yellow centers, Shasta daisy is the picture of classic garden charm. The flowers rise above dark green foliage in early to midsummer, creating a bold, eye-catching display that works beautifully in mixed borders. September is a perfect time to sow Shasta daisy seeds as the cool season allows the seeds to settle in and experience natural cold stratification, setting them up for strong growth and plentiful blooms next year. To grow Shasta daisy from seed, choose a spot in full sun with well-drained soil. Simply scatter seeds on the surface and lightly press them into place, covering very lightly, if at all. Keep the soil moist until germination and then water only as needed. Shasta daisies are quite drought tolerant once established, making them a low-maintenance choice. In the garden, Shasta daisies shine in perennial borders, cottage gardens, or even cutting gardens, where their long stems make them perfect for bouquets. By sowing them this September, you're investing in a perennial that brings lasting brightness and joy for seasons to come. At number 4, we have the graceful columbine, a perennial that adds a touch of whimsy and elegance to spring gardens. Columbine is instantly recognizable with its delicate, nodding, bell-shaped flowers that often come with spurred petals in shades of blue, purple, red, pink, and white. Its fern-like foliage adds texture even after the blooms fade. September is the ideal time to sow columbine seeds because they need a period of cold to germinate well, and fall planting allows nature to handle the stratification process for you. To sow, scatter the seeds in partial shade or dappled sun with moist, well-drained soil. Cover lightly as they need some light to germinate. Once established, columbine is a hardy perennial that requires very little care and often self-seeds, creating a natural drift of flowers over the years. Columbine is perfect for woodland gardens, shady borders, or tucked among hostas and ferns. Their whimsical blooms attract hummingbirds and pollinators, making them as useful as they are beautiful. Next is the tall and dramatic foxglove, a biennial or short-lived perennial that makes a bold statement in the garden. Foxglove produces towering spikes of tubular flowers in shades of purple, pink, white, and yellow, each speckled inside for added charm. They bloom from late spring to early summer, standing out in borders with their vertical presence. September is an excellent time to sow foxglove seeds, as fall and winter give them the cold stratification they need to bloom beautifully the following year. Sow the seeds in partial shade with moist, well-drained soil and press them gently onto the surface. They need light to germinate. Keep the soil moist until seedlings establish. Once growing, foxgloves require very little care, though they may need staking in windy areas due to their tall spikes. In the garden, foxgloves are stunning in cottage borders, woodland edges, or behind lower-growing perennials. They're also pollinator favorites, especially for bees, and their dramatic height brings instant architecture to your planting design. At number 6, we have the bold and cheerful black-eyed Susan, a perennial that has become a staple in many gardens for its long-lasting display and toughness. Easily recognized by its golden yellow petals and dark brown centers, black-eyed Susan adds a strong splash of color from midsummer all the way into fall. The flowers stand on sturdy stems, often reaching 60 to 90 centimeters, and provide a daisy-like form that works beautifully in both formal borders and naturalized settings. Planting from seed in September is ideal because the seeds benefit from the cold stratification of fall and winter, ensuring healthier germination and stronger plants by the next growing season. To sow, choose a spot with full sun and well-drained soil. Scatter the seeds on the soil surface and lightly cover with a thin layer. Water gently and keep the area moist until seedlings emerge. Once established, black-eyed Susans are exceptionally hardy, drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, and capable of thriving with very little care. In the garden, they shine in perennial borders, meadow-style plantings, or as bright accents along pathways. Their seed heads persist into fall, attracting goldfinches and other birds, so they not only bring beauty, but also life to the late-season garden. Rounding out our list is the fiery and resilient Gaillardia, commonly called blanket flower. This perennial is famous for its striking red, orange, and yellow blooms, often with a flame-like gradient on each petal. Flowering heavily from early summer through fall, Gaillardia creates a carpet of color that feels warm and inviting even as the season cools down. Sowing Gaillardia seeds in September is a smart move. Fall and winter give them the dormancy they need, and by spring, you'll have vigorous seedlings ready to grow into vibrant summer bloomers. Gaillardia thrives in full sun and prefers lean, well-drained soil. Scatter seeds directly outdoors and cover lightly with soil, then keep the area moist until they sprout. Once established, they're incredibly low maintenance, heat-tolerant, drought-resistant, and dependable even in less than ideal soil. Use Gaillardia in sunny borders, rock gardens, or naturalized areas where you want a long-lasting burst of color. Their flowers are also pollinator-friendly, attracting bees and butterflies, while their resilience makes them a true plant-to-forget perennial for busy gardeners. And there you have it, 7 perennials you can sow right now in September for beautiful blooms next spring and beyond. The best part is that once planted, nature takes care of much of the process, and you'll be rewarded with hardy, long-lived plants that return every year. That's it for today's list. Which of these perennials are you excited to try in your garden? Or do you already have a go-to perennial that you always sow in fall? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your favorites and maybe feature them in a future video. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next gardening guide.